Retake.
Yeah. So the question is about to find answers that, like, some of you might be writing the prelims for the first time, or some of you might have written prelims before but not been successful. To look into why, what might be the reason that you are not able to cross the cutoff or etc. So now between me and Shashank sir, I have written 6 times this exam and have cleared my prelims except my first attempt. In all other attempts, I have cleared my prelims, and so is Shashank sir also. Like, how many times? He's cleared every time. So you have the experience here to let know what works. You're getting the point. So some of you might think it's all about knowledge game. Okay, many times it is not about knowledge game. It is also the skills that are required. Okay, so that we'll try to showcase in this course. I'll just get the idea of the course. Every week we'll give you a predefined syllabus on the topics you need to prepare and come. Okay, point. So here we are not doing any kind of teaching as per se, and we'll be solving a lot of previous year questions, NDA question, CDS questions, or probable questions. We'll also take up certain current issues linked to those topics which are important, which can come in the exam at large. So we are covering all the subjects from polity, economy, geography, and Shashank sir will brief you about like which are the subjects, what is the trend in now just a minute. Understood? So it's going to be every week, and yeah, it will be both YouTube as well as offline. I would always recommend come offline because you can participate, you can speak, you can exchange ideas, and that is how your skill will also grow. Got the point? And that's what we keep saying, that the tag here is that if you see, don't just ink but also think. You're getting the point? It's not always about, I know this question, I'm going to answer this question based on my knowledge base. Many times your common sense, which is not so common these days, that is what the root cause of why sometimes we don't clear prelims. It is like that. You'll come out of the examination hall, you'll see that, okay, if I answer this paper now, I would have crossed the cutoff. But in examination hall, you're not able to get it correct. Okay, that will help you out through our experiences, how to cross the line. Okay, now Shashank sir will brief you about the trend of the exam, okay, and especially how questions have been coming and what to expect. I'll hand over to Shashank sir now.
Thank you, sir. So basically what you must be knowing about prelims is, again, okay, I'll start in January, fine, I will get the prelims mindset in March, April, May. So you can't get the prelims mindset in 2 or 3 months. It is a process, and the process should start right from day one. Okay, as Nikhil sir told, we'll be having a lot of sessions, we'll be giving you targets, and the targets are placed in such a way that you can invest 2 days for this, reaching these targets. It's not like you will have to read the entire week also, because you will have to cover your mains topic, classes are going on. So we'll ensure that that also is covered. Aita? So meanwhile, as the tagline says, don't just think but also think. So we'll have a lot of questions. We'll try how to think, and sometimes even students also come out with logics. Again, with the coming session, I will identify the number of questions which don't need any knowledge. Today also, if you observe, minimum 20 questions anybody can solve even today. Minimum 20 questions without any preparation. The main problem is, again, the mindset when it comes to prelims. Oh, cutoff is going to be very high, paper is going to be very difficult. So how can I clear the exam? How many lakhs appear in the exam? 5 lakh, 6 lakh, 10 lakh. We have different numbers. Based on this only, we are already scared before getting into the exam. So our job is to simplify your preparation. Okay, and keep it very, very simple. Again, what is the cutoff this year? Broadly. Previous year 87, this year around 90 to 95. Okay, 90 to 95 andre 47, 48 questions net you should get. Out of net 48 questions, if you prepare properly, especially polity, economy, geography, you will get 40 to 45 questions. Okay, 40 to 45 questions. 40 to 45 questions, if you get 40 questions right or 38 questions right, you have achieved almost 80% of our cutoff. And we have not even come to modern history, international relations, environment, or science and tech. Science and tech, add another 10 marks. Easiest part of science and tech, but we think it is very difficult. Okay, all this we'll be discussing in the course of this Prelims Express. And again, I'm telling you, we can predict a lot of questions. And if you are predicting the questions, your job becomes even more easier. Okay. Again, polity, which are the topics in the news? We'll list on every topic that is there in the news. UPSC, again, some people say current affairs is overhyped. Current affairs is the hype of UPSC prelims. If you don't know what is happening in current affairs, you can't get the questions right. For example, which are the polity topics that are in the news recently? 6th schedule. Ladakh is demanding 6th schedule. Kelidira? Have you heard of it? Apart from this, what was there in the newspaper today? Presidential reference. So I should know 360 degrees of presidential reference. And how many times president has asked for reference? When was the first time they have asked? And when was the latest they have asked? Understood? This 360 will not be there in your standard book. That is for sure. Also remember vice president. Why was vice president in the news? Yes, he had to submit his resignation. So again, vice president becomes a very important topic. All right. How many vice presidents have resigned till date? Midway, without completing their tenure. They can ask factual that way, or the powers and functions of vice president. All this everybody will write. But out of 3, for example, vice president, he'll give you 3 statements. Statement 1 and 2 is very easy, but third one is where we are going to get stuck. So we are going to help you to develop this thought process for prelims. Okay. Let us not waste much of time. Again, I'll be discussing what all will be covered under this program. And again, no teaching here. It's morely about developing the mindset for prelims, analyzing the previous years, and how to solve. Okay. So again, most important pillars of prelims express is smart content strategy. Very important. Smart content, can you revise polity 10 times? Humanly impossible. But again, I am going to get ready with some topics at least 10 to 15 times which UPSC is repeating regularly. For example, Government of India Acts, schedules, bills. These are the things I have to revise minimum 10 times. I see students, many students who don't clear and come back. I see while analyzing their paper, they would have made mistakes in this. They would have got the difficult questions right. Okay. The most important thing is neglecting these parts. Then myth busting. What do you mean myth busting? There are a lot of myths about this exam. Hey, it is very difficult. Tumba skills. You need a lot of skills to clear the exam. If you know your basics properly, you can easily clear the exam. So we want to bust that myth also through this. And last but not the least, mindset. What do you mean by mindset? Again, I always give the example of Australian cricket team. Okay. If you see how Australian cricket team walk into the cricket field, has anybody observed? Australia cricket team gota? Australia kelidira? Australia has a cricket team. So the attitude and approach when you walk into the cricket ground, it is like I'm ready to defeat anybody. I don't care about who is bowling. I don't care if Jasprit Bumrah is bowling or some Shoaib Akhtar is bowling. I am come to defeat you. I will defeat you. And that is shown in their results also. And I see that many students don't believe in themselves. You doubt yourself. While marking also in your weekly tests, you know that you are marking wrong, but you will still mark wrong. Why? Because you don't believe your knowledge. You believe some trick. Hey, no, somebody had told this trick. I will apply this trick. Aa trips ella work agala. So I want you to develop this mindset where you believe yourself. And that mindset can't be developed again in the last few days. Mindset andaga, what should be the mindset for the 6 months? What should be the mindset on the day of the exam? What should be the mindset when I enter the exam hall? Because I still remember. So I was writing my 2021 prelims and I had applied only for forest service. Okay. Again, papers are usually, you know how UPSC is very unpredictable. So I walked into the exam hall, only forest service. I see first 15 questions. I don't even know one question. Not even one question. Again, 101 thoughts in my mind. If I don't clear, what should I do? Okay. How will people judge me? What should I tell my parents? I should wait one more year. But I had made up my mind. I had remembered, okay, even if the first 15 questions are difficult, there are going to be easy questions in the end for sure. And if paper is difficult for me, paper is difficult for everybody. Adnap Karli. Yes or no? You will also read Lakshmikant. I also will read Lakshmikant. Sir also will read the same. Artha aita? Attitude is very important. Always believe in yourself. And again, I'll ensure that within 3 to 4 months, all of you will develop that attitude. Okay? Meanwhile, again, what are we going to get in this course? Theme-based learning. Theme-based learning and artha aita? Again, in polity, there are themes. In geography, there are themes. Go back and see geography. You can predict that the same theme is being revolved by UPSC. Ocean currents, planetary winds. Amele. Geography is over. Okay. Wind systems. Okay. Climate. Mediterranean, savanna, tundra. Every year UPSC has to ask a question. If you are master over this, trust me, it becomes very, very easy. Artha aita? For every subject, we will identify the themes right in front of you. Next subject, you will be able to come and tell me, oh sir, these are the themes. Martira? Next, myth busting done, exam mindset and strategic time management. again in 6 months, again if you are not completely starting for prelims today, when you start from January to May, how should you manage your time? You can't invest ancient, medieval and art and culture 1 month. How many questions will come? Ancient, medieval, how many questions will come? Around 8 to 10 or 6 to 8? How many easy questions? 2 or 3, not more than that. For that, should I invest 1 month in that? Definitely not. Rather, invest the same in polity. How many questions in polity? Minimum 15 questions. And politically predictable. In ancient medieval, they'll ask some kingdom and say which king was there, which king was a contemporary. Not every question is doable there. My job is prepare ancient medieval basics. So the easiest questions I am going to get right and come back. Why? Because ancient medieval is so vast. Don't fall into that pit hole. Artha aagta idya? So this is one thing we are going to discuss also. And again, comprehensive coverage of subjects. I should be knowing what subject I should be reading first, what subject I should either skip or do it in the end. So again, if you observe, I have tried to give it in the same order. Polity, economy, geography. Again, I am telling you 40 to 45 questions from these three. If you are master over this, I will give you in writing, you will clear the exam. But if you are not a master of this, no current affairs, no art and culture will help you clear the exam. Sir, meanwhile, should I become a punter in economics? You can't. Sometimes you will not understand some topics. Those topics alone will not help you clear the exam. For example, in class, I regularly give the concept example, GDP. Heard of GDP? GDP, what are the different types of GDP? Factor cost, market price, national income. Very confusing for me. So every exam, I used to go into the exam hall. If that one question comes, I will leave it, no problem. But my rest of my economics were very strong. Artha aagta idya? Let one concept or one small topic in a subject not hinder your preparation. Next, we have science and technology. Again, most underrated part of UPSC Prelims. Why? Because you can predict latest technology, minimum 2 questions. I will give you in writing. Okay, 2 years back we had predicted Web 3.0, Web 4.0 anta news alittu. It was asked by UPSC. Last year, electric vehicles, blockchain technology. Are you getting it? So whenever the topic comes, have a basic understanding. Basic andaga, you don't become a scientist here. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Who has invented this? This is more than enough. Madbodastu, can you do this much? Meanwhile, modern history also highly predictable. Earlier, UPSC had made it a little difficult or taken it out of context. Now they are coming back to asking some easy questions from modern history last year in the. Our trend anage gothirbeku. Okay, I should know the trend. Then we have international relations. Again, minimum 5 questions, easy questions. We'll discuss. Whenever that subject comes, we'll have a broad understanding. Environment, again, unfortunately, highly unpredictable, like climate change. Environment is not predictable. Neev nodi. So you can pick up some random conference, random animal, random bird, random spider. Don't run behind this. Basics barte nan madkon bartini. Okay? Then we have agriculture. Again, agriculture weightage has reduced. But again, I should be knowing about the basics of agriculture. Cropping antu kele keltan. One crop usually UPSC likes to ask every year. Last year, turmeric UPSC had asked. Okay? Ancient, medieval and art and culture. Again, these are things. Again, art and culture, I will be prepared. Also, meanwhile, I will bring all the notes which I have done for every subject and I will show to you. Art and culturally, again, I can predict. For example, whatever is there in the NCERT, I will read. Important temples. Which are the important temples? Khajuraho, Cholas, Pallavas, Brihadeshwara temple. Important temple. Who built it? Is there any river, any unique feature? Ashtu madboda? So this is the only thing you do with ancient, medieval or art and culture. Sir, notes more than enough. So this is about the subjects that we are going to cover. And again, identifying high yielding themes based on PYQ analysis. This is the core thing that we are going to do in this course. Along with, obviously, learning how to solve the PYQs. Meanwhile, breaking the myths. You must read everything. First page to last page. Lakshmikanta. It's more like a gym dumbbell. Or you can sleep over it. Even spectrum has become so bulky. Nodidira spectrum and hoಗಿದೆ. Okay, so that is why not everything should be read from first page to last page. Identify the themes, keep multiple revisions. Polity le constitutional, non-constitutional bodies. How many times UPSC has asked? Hardly 1 or 2 questions. Very, very simple. Nano CAG, ya committee, yaar martare, yes stage, when retirement, all this has not been asked. So let us not break our head reading the same thing again and again. Then again, for online students, coaching is mandatory. Self-study with proper guidance can actually help you clear the exam. But problem here is proper guidance. Market 101 people will give 101 strategies. And if you follow it, where will you go? Nikhil sir ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಕೆಂಗೇರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Okay? Again, have a strategy. Your strategy should be based on PYQs, syllabus, and one standard notes and newspaper. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇಲ್ಲ. Even if God comes and tells you, believe in the PYQ, not God. God will not save you in the exam. Next, PYQs are enough? Yes. But continuous updating is very, very important. Again, in the class, I repeatedly stress on reading the newspaper. Without knowing the newspaper, you can't predict the next year's questions. Again, if you observe, IR, which places are in the news? Which place? Repeatedly coming in the last 15 days. On the rebels. In Africa, there is a country. Sudan, kelidira? Sudan, which are the places that are in the news? Darfur, Khartoum, I think Fasher. These are the places that are there in news, and UPSC will simply give you the place of the news, place, and ask which country is it or why is it in the news. Artha aagta idya? Israel, Palestine in the news. Important refugee camps. Which are the important refugee camps? Rafah corridor, that everybody knows. UPSC will not ask. Nuzirat, Maghazi. I am not reading any separate source. I am reading the Hindu newspaper. Okay, all this, don't worry. We are going to discuss. Artha aagta idya? Pakistan, Afghanistan in the news. Why? They are fighting with each other. Durand line. Okay, I should be knowing about Durand line. What are the basics about Durand line? Also places in news. Which are the places in news in Afghan-Pakistan border? Full form. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Border places. Torkham border. Amele. Shiv. Paper odbeko. Okay. This we will discuss in the class. I will give you the theme. I will give you some places also. Adana revise ಮಾಡಿ mapping ಮಾಡೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Then myth, prelims is easier than mains. A prelims multiple choice, I can easily go play and come. No. Prelims is actually a very big challenge. You can actually meet and ask people who have not cleared prelims for 3 to 4 times. If they hear the word prelims, they get panic attacks. I've seen a lot of people like that. Extraordinarily good in mains, but prelims not able to clear despite being smart. Yenike, they will be doing 1 or 2 small mistakes in their preparation, which is stopping them from clearing prelims. Okay? So these are the myths we are going to bust. Meanwhile, mistakes will continue later. Right mindset, again, separate session on mindsets. What should you do? What should you not do? And obviously, try to maintain your mental health. Today, mental health is the biggest challenge for UPSC aspirants. Sir, 2 classes, 3 classes, revision. Okay, so focus on your physical health. If there is no physical health or mental health, you cannot prepare for this exam. Exam day also traps will be discussing. Again, mastering the 2 hours. 2 hours idiyalla, how should I plan my 2 hours is very important. Especially for people writing the first attempt, time management becomes very difficult. Why? Because everything is new. 40 questions you'll be knowing. Rest all are new questions. By the time you read the question twice, time is over. Understood? Because most of the students writing the first or second attempt, they face challenges in time management. So what time does the prelims exam start in UPSC? Manu? Guarantee na? 9:30 to 11:30. I have seen students thinking that exam is from 10 to 12 and slowing down. So 9:30 exam start adre, I should be knowing what should I be doing at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 10:45. Artha aagta idya? That is what is time management also. And ask any aspirant who has cleared the exam, they would have done all this. Nanu arama kai biskond ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? And you have to be very, very serious also. Again, strategic guessing. Problem is every wrong mark costs 0.33 marks. Yes? And imagine if you know a question and you are bubbling it wrong. How many marks you are losing? Minus 2.667 marks. Why? Because in that moment, we try to what? We get panic. For example, 27, 28, 29 irutte. 27 question I'll mark for 28, 28 I'll mark for 29. 2 questions gone. So we will also discuss how to bubble and when to bubble also. Okay, because some people, what they do, they solve all the questions. In the last 5 minutes, they will plan to bubble. Last 5 minutes, Ali, time will not, they will be having shortage of time. By the time you start bubbling, imagine you have missed 2 questions, but you will mark that missed questions also. And imagine all the pattern goes wrong. 1 na 2 mark madidra, 2 na 3, 3 ge 4, 4 ge 5. Entire paper will go havoc. Okay, these are the mistakes you are not going to avoid, and these are the things you should be knowing for prelims. Again, which question we should attempt? What should be our action plan? Create a study plan. Very, very important. I will also, in the coming classes, help you draw up a timetable and prepare according to the timetable. Next, solving the 10-year PYQs, and only solving alone will not help you. Analyzing patterns, because you will today, after sir starts discussing the question, you will come to know ade question barbeku. Government of India Act schedule should come in the paper. All right, so this is one thing, and repeated practice of PYQs is very important. Next, stay updated on current affairs, non-negotiable. How many of you don't read the newspaper today, or haven't read the newspaper today? Half of you would not have read, I know. I don't know why. Either you run behind current affairs or you run behind some current affairs videos. That is, trust me, not going to help you. And also, in case it helps also, CSAT you will be gone, because you will not have the speed to read passages and understand. Some questions you don't even understand in CSAT. Why? Because your vocabulary base is very, very less. So, if you don't have a practice or a habit, cultivate the habit right from today. Read for 1 hour, it's okay. Some people say read only editorial, don't read anything else. That is, I personally believe that the worst ever advice anybody can give you. Because while reading the newspaper, where are you giving exercise to your brain? India, Pakistan, Afghanistan are fighting regularly in the news. I should be prepared. Sudan, regularly coming. What is the name of the rebels in Sudan? RSF, Kelidira RSF? RSF, M23 Kelidira. One more M23 rebels. Which country? Congo. Democratic Republic of Congo. 1 year, UPSC had asked 3 questions on Congo. 1 year, 3 questions on Congo. And imagine if you knew Congo. Even Congo people will not be knowing UPSC is asking about us. Andre, Africa, UPSC loves to ask questions. Artha agta idya? Again, take weekly mock tests. Again, once you complete 1 round of revision of polity, take a mock test. A mock test madadrinda yenagutte, you will come to know. Mock test is not to see where you stand. Mock test is to know whether have you understood that topic or not. You know money bills, but when you solve, you come to know, I don't know the nitty-gritty. Salpa confuse aagta idin money bill, finance bill. That you will realize only when you solve a mock test. Or sometimes you have runtime errors. Runtime errors andre. While reading, in a hurry, I will not read. Which of the following is incorrect? Miss madi, correct madirthin. Understood? That reason. And third reason is some new question which you have never heard of. So those are the things you will be learning in test series. Don't believe, sir, I got 60-17 test series, I will not pass the exam. Atara ilve illa. Test series only is to practice and try to improve every test. Okay, unlock madappa. Reality check. So again, our UPSC prelims stands on 3 pillars according to me. 1 pillar is knowledge. Knowledge andrenu. Basic money bill, etc., finance bill, basic knowledge irbeku. Then logical thinking. What do you mean by logical thinking? Sir told, common sense. Not so common. Smart phones, but not smart people. That is what is the reality now. Okay. Logical thinking andre, okay, can I prove this wrong? Can this really happen? I'll give you a lot of examples with different subjects. Okay, even though I might be handling IR polity, that's all. Again, we have experience of writing and clearing all prelims and all subjects even we have studied. So every subject has a trick. Okay, these things we'll try to learn. And last but not the least, presence of mind in the exam. Exam alli presence of mind will be gone. I still remember there was a CSAT question. The question was, which of the following odd number is followed by a prime number? Repeat the question. Which of the following odd number is followed by a prime number? Andre, after any odd number, any prime number, how many times it has come? I read the question 4 times. I could not handle because I was panicking. Artha agta idya? So going with a calm mind, reading the question properly will help you solve the papers. Artha agta idya? Again, first thing, build your foundation. Without basics, you cannot prepare. Foundation andrenu? Again, it can be the standard books and class note for all the subjects. Polity, economy, geography, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable andrenu. You have to do it at any cost. No running behind shortcuts. So, solid grasp of facts, concepts and syllabus. Knowledge improves accuracy and confidence. So, one more question that students regularly ask, sir, how many questions should I mark, sir? That is the biggest doubt that UPSC aspirants have. And 3 people will have 3 different answers. Sir, how many questions do you used to mark? 90 and above. Sir is rank student. Aditya sir antidare. Avaru 100 questions atho 99 mark ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. I was marking only 73 to 75 questions. He was also clearing, I was also clearing, he was also clearing. Means I should do what works for me. I should blindly not do what works for him. So after I cleared 1 or 2 attempts, one attempt I had 77 attempted and 73 were right. 77 attempted, 73 right. Avaga current affairs were very, very simple, okay? At that time, I was meeting toppers. Some people had cleared the exam, group agattala. So I still remember Hemant sir anta. So he is the ZP of CEO of Shimoga. So he told, Maga, nam friends alla 75 madre pass agalla. He told 70, 75 you are not clearing the exam. Then I took him seriously. Pass bare agidare, okay fine. Then next attempt I marked 85. My prelim score automatically fell down. Understood? Don't blindly follow anything. Do what works for you. Do what works doesn't mean marking 50 and coming back. Sir, you only told. Idu ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ presence of mind ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್. Average 75 to 85 is a good number. But some people like to play with fire, play with danger. Sir, go above 90, nothing wrong. But for me, if I don't know anything, I will not touch that question. I will scratch off that question. In fact, some invigilator had asked me, hey, yakappa, you're scratching the question. In the exam, you're not supposed to mark anything. I was scratching ancient medieval questions which I don't know. He was asking, why are you scratching the questions? Artha agta idya? So that is why this is also one thing. That is why I request you, whenever you are solving your practice or mock test, don't mark if you don't know. What do you do? 50 questions, alva, let me mark all 50. Anyways, I have paid money for the test series. Don't have this attitude. You know 35, mark 35. I want you to get 30 right minimum. What is the use of marking 50, getting 20 right and 30 wrong? And your confidence, below the oceans. Understood? These are habits, daily habits that you have to develop from today. Don't tell, sir, in prelims test series I'll solve 100, in exam I'll solve 80. Does it work? It does not work like that. Sir, 5 minutes. Again, the 3-step problem solving strategy. Always remember that these are the step number 1, 2, 3. First is knowledge. Knowledge andren. I know it, I'm going to mark. Okay, now I don't know, I don't have proper knowledge about this. Let me apply some logic. Logic ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ilva? Then I will come to some trick. Some trick andre whenever UPSC gives numbers or facts, sometimes it is wrong. I'll give you empirical evidence. Okay, again I have around minimum 100 to 150 question bank which I have prepared to give you empirical evidence. How it works, how it does not work anta. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? So this is how, and why? Because I know students. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ tricks, YouTube ಅಲ್ಲಿ 100 people will give you 101 tricks. I did like this, how to improve 20 marks in 20 minutes. YouTube sessions irutte. Again, it is nothing but clickbaiting for their own views, that's all. With all due respect to everybody. Again, you can learn from that and get 1 or 2 marks, yes. But don't blindly believe that. Why? Because some students ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, what do? They will say, sir had told this trick. You know this is right, wrong. Money bill ಅನ್ನೋದು ತಪ್ಪು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. But no, sir trick is right. Sir is right, not me. You will negate yourself. What do you mean by negating yourself? Negate yourself andre, you will not believe in yourself. You will believe in some illogical tricks that somebody had told you. So first believe your knowledge. Knowledge work agilla andre logic. Logic work agilla andre konege trick barana. It should not be the other way around. Okay? Again, knowledge, logic, tricks. Again, let us come to why polity. Why polity is important? Why? Because consistently 15 to 18 questions. And for me, this is the easiest. It's like a full toss ball in a cricket match. Full toss ball ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? 6 ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು. ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆದರೆ gone. Seriously, I'm telling you. Why? Because 15, let us say 15 marks comes. How many, 15 questions. How many marks? 30 marks. What is the cutoff? Let us keep 90. Hey, how many marks you are getting? 1/3, sir. 1/3 you are easily getting in polity. So don't neglect. Highly predictable, very easy also. Getting it? Also high scoring potential. Again, see the stable pattern. Again, it might be a little bit, don't go into exact basics, but from the last 10 years, polity 15, 10 or say 12 to 18 questions regularly. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Because sometimes, for example, 3-4 years back, geography 2-3 questions, that's all. But then now it has picked up. Now minimum 8 to 10 questions are coming from geography. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? That is why invest your time in geography. You are very serious, polity. If you are very serious about clearing prelims, polity is one thing that should be in your fingertips. Along with the current affairs. Current affairs ಏನilla, presidential assent is in the news. Go back to Lakshmikant, read the basics. Can you do that much? This is how you should be studying. Remarkable stability and strategic importance. Again, remember that UPSC is not testing rote memorization. Rote memorization ಅಂದ್ರೆ mindly by hearting. Article 1, 2, 3. I have seen students 1 to ಎಷ್ಟು article ಇದೆ? 395. ಎಲ್ಲ by heart ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. UPSC is asking articles now which is in the news. ಬೇಡದಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಬೇಡಿ. Okay? No rote learning, no isolated facts, surface level awareness, generic knowledge. All this will not work in UPSC today. Before 2019 it was working, now UPSC is getting little analytical. All this kind of factual question will come in our state exams. Meanwhile, he is trying to test your deep conceptual understanding. Concepts gottidya gottilva. Procedural knowledge. What is my procedural knowledge? For example, Supreme Court judge. What is the procedure to remove the Supreme Court judge? Understood? Or for example, when the government falls, what is the procedure for the next government to be elected? After the government, or for example, elections are held, what is the status of the speaker? Speaker continues to stay. On a speaker, pro tem will come, then again new speaker will come. Understood? These are the things that you should be knowing. Application of principles. Today, lot of examples are only on application of principles. Okay? Again, what questions are coming? UPSC is asking, define liberty, or what is liberty according to you? If you don't know the basic of liberty, all 4 options will be right. Sir, for me liberty is this. No, but for us, according to Indian constitution, what is liberty, we should be knowing. And that will come only if you have conceptual understanding of the subjects. Then rule of law, constitutional government. Ide examples ide, questions. Then welfare state, natural justice. What do you understand by principle of natural justice? Due procedure anta direct ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you will not get this right. Philosophy, intent of the constitution makers is also being asked. Topic wise distribution, if you observe again, which are the most or the highest rewarding topics in polity? Parliament and state legislature. President, governor. Parliament, whenever you do state legislative council also simultaneously. It is almost the same except Rajya Sabha and legislative council. Don't sit and start with the first chapter, citizenship, you will spend 2 days, 3 days. Hang ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Identify the high rewarding topics. This is later for our revision. But anyway, since you will be giving syllabus, you will have an idea. Okay? Apart from this, Indian constitution features and amendments. Amendment, every year there is a question. Okay? Schedules, have you heard of schedules? How many schedules are there? 5, 12, guarantee na? Original constitution ali? 8, good. So these are the things they are going to ask. Again, 6th schedule, 5th schedule, favorite area. Tribes andre UPSC's favorite topic. He can ask either political aspect, economic aspect, cultural aspect, or geographical aspect. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? You go back and see tribes, minimum 2 questions will be there every year. So, whenever you are seeing a tribe, be very careful. Think what can UPSC ask in the exam. Judiciary, another favorite area. Why is judiciary in the news recently? Mr. Yashwant Verma case. What happened? Huge amount of cash was found. Again, to hold judges accountable, is there any mechanism in our judiciary? Or today, if I want to complain against the Chief Justice of High Court, can I? ಈ ತರ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು. Last year there was a question on Lokpal and Lokayukta. Why? It was completely there in the news, repeatedly coming. And obviously, important acts and amendments. Again, state legislature and union, 39 questions. Constitution and amendments, acts and amendments, fundamental rights, another important topic. Every year one question, reservation is there for fundamental rights. Okay, UPSC has reservation for questions here. Okay. Again, this is the spread up. Again, we'll be sharing the slides also. You can go back and read. Again, polity minimum. Either they will ask you direct factual questions. Right to marry. Which article of Indian Constitution? 19, 21, 24, 25. Ishte kedadu. Okay, direct factual question. Sometimes assertion and reasoning. Prisons Act. So they'll give you an assertion statement and ask, is the reason given correct for this assertion? And last is multi-statement MCQs. Again, relatively 33% easy, 35 and 32, but I don't believe in this. This is just for factual knowledge. Okay, this is done. I told you, schedules, parts. Did you observe one thing? UPSC has started asking questions about parts of Indian Constitution. Till 2024, never had he asked a question about parts. In 2024, suddenly he picked up 3 parts and asked, match the following. So that means parts also becomes important from exam perspective. Again, article 21, the living article. Every year there is a question. Right to marry, right to privacy, right to livelihood, right to education. Article 21. So keep observing Supreme Court judgment. Whenever they give a judgment, they'll also write according to which article I am giving this judgment. Okay. So right to marry, he had told Article 21, right to life. But people thought it is Article 19, freedom of expression. I can marry whomever I want. Freedom of speech and expression. But it was Article 21 under Hadia case. Artha agta idya? Here you have to interpret what is interpreted by the Constitution or Judiciary, not our personal interpretation. Equality before law. Again, panchayats and municipalities. Again, write down minimum 1 question fix. Again, schedules, 10th and 10th also. 10th is like every 2-3 years it will keep coming and going. Anti-defection law. Okay. And I recently, which article is in the news today? Article 200. Is 200 in the news? Again, when such articles are specifically in the news, just try to read what is written in that article. You have this Constitution app. Just read that article, not every article. Because UPSC has copy-pasted articles from the Indian Constitution itself. Again, rights, duties and DPSPs, very important. Procedural knowledge, I told you. Again, how money bills are passed, difference between money bill and finance bill passing, all this can be asked. Last year they had asked which bills lapse and which bill does not lapse. Okay. Exceptions, where exceptions are there, he will pick up these exceptions. Again, so now I'll pass on the mic to Nikhil sir. So we will jointly be discussing some previous year questions. So again, how do you think, what comes to your mind and which theme it is being asked in? Alright. And at the end of the session, we'll take questions. Okay. Any doubts till now? Artha aita? Sir.
So I hope you got an idea that what Shashank sir spoke about, right? So just before we start, that is what I think 2 points, important points what he mentioned. One is reading newspaper. Okay. So this is again a debate saying that some people saying that don't need to read newspaper, directly read current affairs material. For me and Shashank sir, I think it's fine. Even if today we read any current affairs material, we're able to manage with it because we have the knowledge of reading a newspaper for so many years. Okay, so yesterday I was also reading newspaper about the Supreme Court's, what you can say, the advisory jurisdiction. There I read something about what we call as the doctrine of, doctrine of presumed assent or assumed assent, which is there. Now, many times what people do is that they don't read about it. Okay, what is this doctrine? What does the doctrine mean? Okay, then at the same time connect with which are the other important doctrines within the Indian Constitution, pith and substance, doctrine of colorable legislation, doctrine of basic structure. You are getting the point. So, many times what, like he said, in verge of learning tricks, you don't become tricked. You are getting the point. So the point is that even when I was watching some yesterday, there was one morning, I think in Facebook, they were giving that, I'll give you 3 shares. You buy these shares in the morning, you'll become rich by the evening. Then I thought if that fellow only knows those 3 shares, why he's trying to make others rich? Why he's not only becoming rich?
Road over thrust.
So basically there is nothing like that. For me, like what he said, here the idea is that we are not going to tell this question will come, this question won't come. It's more about the skill or you will pass when you realize that how to predict which question will come in the exam. You're getting a point. Otherwise, it keeps repeating as a cycle. See, today you'll attend this session, you'll attend one more session, other session, 3 or 4 other sessions. Everywhere you'll be hearing the same things. Okay, but your results though are not coming. Now, why it is not coming? The simple logic is that you're just listening. You're not adapting to what anything has been done. And one more thing is that what I find among students also, they're not consistent. You know, like too many cooks spoil the food. Okay, now you'll listen, hear something. Then you can say some Ed Sarthi or something. Sir, they're telling one more thing. Then again you go, sir, this topper again told this more thing. I'll include everything. You'll end up having nothing. The reason is that
But they will become rich. You will become poor.
Yeah, because
Poor by an year.
yeah, you should listen. You should listen to what we are telling. You're not listening when you just go on saying that, okay, I'll follow this strategy, I follow that strategy. Consistently follow, because I've seen Shashank sir also many times sitting down and telling people how to read newspaper, etc. People won't believe that. What they will believe, which material, which is there. Okay, shunya. You'll get shunya only in exam. See, I'm not criticizing the material. I'm telling you have to know how to read that material, how to inculcate that. Like for IR, he told, trust me, IR, if you have read newspaper consistently for 1 year, I'll challenge, out of 6-7 questions what they gave, you'll get almost 4 questions correct. It's like daily reading newspaper, you will realize it when they give the options. Or even sometimes, where you can use tricks or etc., you have bit of reading. Like they will ask, Chinook helicopter, India purchases from which country? 2 ways of knowing it. You have read it, you'll know it. Let us think you have not read. You don't know, you've missed it. They would be on US, Israel, Russia, France. Here logic won't work with whom we have close defense relations, because with all of them we have close defense relation. Let us think you have read geography, you know Chinook is a wind which blows in North America. Okay, you'll make some kind of connection saying that it might be America. Get a point? So that's what I'm telling you. Every logic will not work everywhere. You'll have to know which logic, how it has to be used. To use all this knowledge, now what you made use of here, which knowledge you made use of here to make that guess? Your basics of geography. So that's what I find among students. Many of them, they're not good with their basics. That is simple thing. Weak area is that you're not good with your basics. And the problem what happens is that I and Shashank sir many times we are upfront. Okay, I don't know what, but I am more upfront. I'm saying ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತೇನು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನೀವು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ ಸತಿ ಆಗೋದು.
ನೋ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೋಟಿಂಗ್.
ನೋ ಶುಗರ್, ಅದೇನೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದವ್ರು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾಗಾರ್ಜುನ ಗೌಡ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ, ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ದೇಶ್ಮುಖ್ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಫುಲ್ ಸಖತ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು.
YouTube ಆಗ್ಲೇ they'll be remembering how I'll appear on YouTube.
That's what they'll be in that level. I am Nagarjuna Gowda, where is my Shushti Deshmukh? So the point is that, see, that's what I told. There is no person who has achieved success only through praising or things. I believe in true confidence, not false sense of confidence. So if you don't know things, admit it. I don't know. I'll try to prepare on it. I'll try to become better, because betterment starts with admission. As long as you try to live in your own bubble, saying that illa ella perfect agide, ella chanage ide, yadu this movie was there, Kabza. He is in his own world, telling now, so they're asking for Kabza 2. Who is asking for Kabza 2? Kabza 1 nodakagilla. So that's what I told. First step is that follow one path. Okay, don't confuse yourself. See, to give you an example, what is the difference between a topper and normal? Now Mangalore DC was there, Darshan, who is a very close friend of mine. When he started reading political science, he changed from Kannada literature. See, that time I had not even cleared the exam. Forget today, I had given interview. At that point of time, when he asked me, I had only scored only 170 in political science. The good thing about him is that he had only 3 months time. He told, you tell what should be done. I'm not going to listen to anybody else. Even there were people who had already got rank. He told, see, they are not coming with me every day. You're going to stay with me every day. You just tell without 2 things I'll follow. 2 days and IS. I'm not telling because he just followed what I told. That is what you call as clarity of mind, not confusing yourself with, doing 2 other. He told, I don't have any other option. I can't do what everybody says. I'll try this. If it works out, it will work out. But what I see among our students, right? You get easily influenced by 100 different things, because social media is there today, plenty of content is there. So what will happen? Iವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಶಾಂಕ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. You're going to mind, by going down, your mind will change. Why your mind will change? Because you don't have a belief on one particular product. And we are not charging any cost for this. And you are ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರ. It's a free initiative, and the ultimate goal is to make more number of our classroom students to crack prelims. That's the agenda. Test series we have students who will clear. Okay, even he has test series students, even I have test series students. Even if you do anything, don't do anything, they'll give you the result. But we want our classroom students to clear the exam, because that is what we say is a result. Okay, and for that you will have to work with the targets that has been given, and I think he listed out what are the possible steps you have to do, that you will have to regularly follow and regularly be in touch. Okay, saying that idu gottaaytu idu gottagilla, and every subject is not same. The way you read polity, the way you read IR, the way you read economy is not completely the same. Understood? So when you will get accustomed to it, so let us think you travel in this road one time, you don't know where are the potholes, you don't know where is a hump. Let us think you travel in the same road again and again. What will happen? You'll become an expert in it, right? Same way is with this thing. You solve more number of questions. Okay, and one more thing, like Shashank sir told a right point. Some people, what they do, they revise Lakshmikant end to end. That is not required. Just go on the topics like he told now. Why newspaper is important? You'll know what is in news. Keep in mind, newspaper does not have all the content, but newspaper is an indicator. It indicates to you what might come in the exam. And if you find something repeatedly, he told Ladakh 6 schedule, read about it. Right? Yesterday night, the presidential reference has come. Read about it. That would be important. Article 143, okay, is the advice given by the Supreme Court binding on the president or not? Look into these kind of areas. So when you revise these kind of topics multiple times, what will happen? In prelims, the only simple trick what UPSC is trying to do is that confuse you. Right? There are 4 options. Answer is in right front of you. They're trying to confuse you by putting some wrong statements. That you have to be able to identify. Got the point? What many people think is that they think that everything in the book, we read a book, we'll get it right. No. Now let us think there's a question on 5th schedule. Logic. They give one statement saying that in 5th schedule areas, the chief minister of the 5th schedule state should send a report to the home minister with regards to development of the tribals. How many of you say this statement is correct? How many of you say this statement is wrong? How many of you say it is wrong? How many of you say it is correct? Or how many of you say we don't know?
Not mark, as usual.
Generally, don't know. See, whether you know, whether you don't know, use your common sense. CM is a democratically elected leader. He is heading the state. He is not somebody who is subordinate to the home minister. So he will not send a report to home minister. It will be the governor who will be sending a report to the home minister. For this, you don't need to read any book. You need to understand how Indian political system works. Got the point? They're not looking for the range of... So you cannot tell it, sir, idu nan bookal barde illa. Bookal baredala. You should have understood. We follow parliamentary democracy. In parliamentary democracy, you have elected government. So why will a CM be subordinate? Because who will send report to whom? Somebody who is subordinate to other, he will send a report. So you could have made a guess saying that it is incorrect. Got it? So that's why I say prelims ಓದೋದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ it's not that I've read a material. A material ಏನಿದೋ ಅದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಲ್ಲ. You should learn the material, that's the basics. Along with that, you have to identify what are the probable areas it can come. Your mind should be constantly working like that. The moment you read newspaper, it should flash to you. ಬರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಈ ಥರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ. Got it? But many of you, what you do is that you are all feeders. What is feeders? ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮೀನು ಟ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರ, ಅದು ಊಟ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ತಿನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬೇಡ, ನೀವು ಕೈ ತಂದಿಟ್ರು ಊಟ ಬಂತು ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ lack of thing. They're only what? Feeding on what has been given to them. You have to be hunters. What do you mean by hunters? You have to hunt your own food. For that you need necessary skills. That is what will be brought.
Gaja betegar ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ನೀವು. That is why when I read the paper, I will hunt for topics. ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ UPSC Prelims ಅಂತ. Sir was telling 6 schedule. Ladakh, I wanted to add, sir. Ladakh ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು? He can go back and environment aspect he can ask. Hemis National Park, snow leopard capital of the world. ಅದ್ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, remember India China recently had their border dispute settled.
Ladakh.
3-4 places were in the news. Depsang, Demchok and Hot Springs, Galwan Valley. I should know which is in the north, which is in the south. Guarantee question will come. You go back and see once UPSC has asked, Leh and Ladakh, L location in, they will give you 4 options and confuse you. But if you know, okay, Debsang is in the north, Demchok ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಯಾವ ಲೇಕ್, Pangong So Lake is there. Just see the map 2 to 3 times, that will stay in your head. Okay?
What is your expectation? Sir, do one marathon session from morning till night. I will write down everything. It will not stick in your head. Get your point? Anything you revise at least 7 to 8 times. Now, why he is able to tell exactly what is it? Because he has read it 5-6 times. ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇವಾಗ ಇವರು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವು ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರಿ. Do you really think it enters your head? It is just there in your book. Many of them don't have time to read that also. Then you will tell that, sir, prelims ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ?
ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. I will give you in writing, nobody can make you clear prelims, only yourself. Okay, don't fall for the trick.
It's only yourself you are going to clear. So that's what Albert Einstein, repeating the same thing again and again, expecting the result to be different, is heights of foolishness. ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸರ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಷ 10 ಅವರ್ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಈ ಸತಿ 12 ಅವರ್ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು 100 ಪೇಪರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಸರ್, ಈ ಸತಿ 120 ಪೇಪರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹವ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್, ಹೌ ಯು ಹವ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅವೇ ಯು ಹವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಇಟ್. That is more important. And that's why when students come to me, I keep always asking them, if somebody comes, I'll be more straightforward. ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಯಾರೋ ಬಂದಿದ್ದ, ಓದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಾಗಿದೆ, 2 ಸತಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆಯ್ತು ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಗೂ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ, ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಅದೇ ಕೇಳೋದು. ಅವನು 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ನೋಡೋದು ಹಂಗೆ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಸರ್, ತಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ, ನಾಲ್ಗೆ ತುದಿಲೇ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ರೇ ಬರೋದು. ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ. ಆಯಿತು, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೂ, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೂ. ಸರ್ ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ, ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್, ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ, ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಸರ್, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸರ್, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಹವ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಸರ್. See, it's not about revision. These are all concepts. If you have understood, even in your sleep, you will tell what is negative liberty, what is positive liberty, what is procedure established by law, what is due process of law. Inna ಕೆಲವು ಸತಿ UPSC ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. I think when I and Manjana were handing one class, one fellow came and I think class students, he told, you and Manjana both have taught wrong. He told, okay, ನಾನೇನೋ ತಪ್ಪಿಡಿರೋದು, ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ್ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರಾ? What did you guys told? You told, you told that speaker is removed by effective majority. ಹೌದಪ್ಪ ಅದೇ ಅಂತ. ಮುಂಜಾನೆ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್, ಹೌದು ಅದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದು ಆಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದು ಹಂಗಿದೆ, ಹೋಗಿ ತಗೊಂಬ ಬುಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಈ ಬಾಟ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಏನಂತ ಇತ್ತಂದರೆ, ಈಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಆಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದೆನ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಇವ್ನು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕು? Because the meaning of effective majority and absolute majority of then members is one and the same. You're understanding? So many people don't even observe when they read sentences, they don't have clarity only. Why that happens? Because sometimes English is weak. Why he told read newspaper is not only for knowledge. It improves your vocabulary, it improves your comprehension reading, it enhances your understanding capability. But you don't see that way. You see which way? Okay sir, tell me one YouTube channel which will tell me what is there in newspaper. I've watched some online YouTube channel, just they're reading newspaper. Barkoli anti-defection law is important. Oh, you know, Barko, the anti-defection. See, I'll tell you why. Because the problem is that, first of all, it's my personal opinion, I feel you don't have even the capability to assess what is good or bad, if you ask me really. You baikombodo, but that is the truth. Because you don't know what is good or what is useful for the exam. All you go behind is that what makes you comfortable, what makes you, at least for now, ಫುಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಬನ್ನಿ ನೀವು ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಈಶ್ವರ ಆಗಿ, ನಾನು ರವಿಚಂದ್ರನ್ ಅವ್ರು ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಬ್ರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಮಗ ಆಜ್ಞೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಗ ನಿಂದು 1 ಪಕ್ಕ 0 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 10 ಮಗ, ನಾಳೆ 100 ಮಗ, ನಾಳೆ 1000 ಮಗ.
ಐ ಸಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟುಡೇ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್, ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೋ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. I think advertisement Astro Talk.
See, that's what I mean. These things and all secondary. See, motivation is all required, but please work on building your skills. Got it? So we had already given set of syllabus for you to prepare and come. How many of you are prepared and come? Historical background, etc. Okay, let us think you are not prepared and come. At least you have read it once, right? Historical background, preamble, or etc. So now we'll try to go through questions and let's see that how how can we get answers correct, or how does your your mind work? And you can also raise your hand to think. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ, ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಡ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್, you can raise your hand, you can tell, okay, this is what I feel is the answer. So this is the first question. What are the objects of Queen Victoria's proclamation? They're asking which of the following statements given are true, and there are 3 statements.
Meanwhile, when you read this, I'll just give you a small hint. 1858 ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ 1857 ಥಿಂಕ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ರಿವೋಲ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ 80, ಆ ಕಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿ, ಇವಾಗ ಲೈಫ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಈಸಿ. Question. Okay. Am I blocking your view?
Is it visible?
Honestly, how many of you don't know the meaning of the word disclaim? Honest ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಎತ್ತಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಜನ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. This is the problem. We don't read the newspaper. ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ, will you understand the question? You don't know what disclaim means, you cannot solve. And that side, if you go Hindi, English ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ. Are you getting it? That is the reason. Continue.
Exam ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ, ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ವಾಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್? ರೇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. So Manu is telling option is 1 and 2 only. Okay, why Manu? Why third statement is wrong? Correct. So one simple logic, as Shashank sir told, if you go back 1857, in 1833 only, if you see, they ended the company's trading function. It was just an administrative body. Straight away remove 3. You are only remaining with option 1 and 2 and 2 only. So e logic use more, second statement has to be 100% correct. Okay, that is also no brainer, because if you read 1858,
and see here, Queen, British Crown, to place the administration under only, ಅವರು ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ she has given. Okay,
now only thing you have to decide is that first statement right or wrong.
Disclaim andre to give up. Okay,
so why he told, think about 1857, one of the reason of the revolt was what? The subsidiary alliance. Doctrine of lapse.
Dalhousie.
So that is why the princes or these were, they were angry against the company. That is why now the queen said that we are going to give back your kingdoms and we are going to disclaim any intention of annexing any Indian territory. So what will be your answer? 1 and 2. Got it? So ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು. ಒಂದೇನೋ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 1858, ಯು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಥಾಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪೆಂಡ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವೈ 1858 ಕೇಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪೆಂಡ್ ಇನ್ 1857. Second thing, as Shashank sir told, some words you have to get comfortable. See, some people might know the answer, but they don't know what is the meaning of disclaim.
And sorry to interrupt, any, as soon as you see any extreme word, remove. Don't do that. ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, you see any extreme word, eliminate. Don't do that. Read it properly. Okay?
Next question. The Government of India Act 1919 clearly defined which of the following? So when you can see, even you have these kind of questions, means 4 options are there, 1 is correct. It's not a multiple statement question. 1 you can know, you know the answer, try to anyway. That is saying you have confusion. First try to remove those options which you feel it is not correct. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ 2 ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ your chances of getting correct with 4 is 25%. But if you remove 2 options, ಅಂದರೆ 50-50, your chances naturally increase to what? 50%.
I mean, if you don't know, it's okay, fine, nothing wrong. Again, today after the session, I want you to go home and say how to eliminate, and one more, Government of India Act, I should know it 360 degrees. Got it? What is the answer? Option A, anybody?
How many of you say option A? ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, if you feel option
A. It's like a Conberga Crorepati poll, public opinion, Obre. B, 60%. C, D. Okay?
ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅದು ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? Okay, fine. Polity? Okay, answer is?
Answer is B. Okay, because simple, if you go into Government of India Act 1919, there was something called as diarchy. Meaning, if diarchy was there, obviously they would have already divided the subject into what? Central subject and state subject. So the answer is what? B.
B.
Okay, and what do you mean by diarchy? Division of what? Of what? Of what? They distributed of what? Adeyappa, division of subject, which subjects? ಅದೇ ಇವಾಗ ಮಂಜಣ್ಣನು ಕರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಕರ್ಸ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಾವೇ ಬೆಲ್ಟಾಡ್ ಹೊಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಮಂಜಣ್ಣ, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗಂತ ಹೊಡಿ. ಸಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 1919, they introduced diarchy where?
Center alla province?
In provinces. Okay, which subjects they divided? Provincial subjects. Into what lists they divided? Reserved list, transferred list. Understand, this is not a division between center and state. This is dividing provincial subjects into. So what is a reserved list?
ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? With the governor. Transfer means they're transferring to whom? To the ministers, elected government. So logically, when British brought this, their idea was that to keep all the important subjects with them and to transfer all the non-important subjects to the government. So that is why if you see police, land and order, revenue, irrigation was all kept with the reserved subject. You have education, health, agriculture, panchayats or the local government.
ದುಡ್ಡು ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
Got it? That's why I told understand and read. Don't just by heart. When you by heart, what will happen? There will be no clarity. So if you have understood that, easily you can identify what is the answer. B. You want to add anything?
Yes.
Okay. Next is the follow-up question.
ನೋಡಿ ಅದೇ ಥೀಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆಮನು ಝೂಮ್.
See, one simple thing. Now you saw this question, right? Before you decide anything, according to the given options, what is one logic you can deduct? One of the thing is wrong. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, something is wrong. You have to identify which is it that wrong or which is not there. So they're asking which of the following were treated as reserved subject. Meaning you should identify which is a transferred subject. If you identify that, you'll got the answer. So which is the transferred subject? Basically, it is local self-government. So eliminate everything where there is 2. You end up the answer as what? 1, 3 and 4.
Also, if you observe, is local self-government the odd man out also? Observe, forget everything. Odd man out nodi. Yavidi odd man out? Majorly it is local self-government. Again, separate session I will give on only odd man out. How odd man out will help you get answers. Eshtond questions ide. Odd man out andre they'll give 4 names. 3 fruits, 1 vegetable. A vegetable will be out. Adhe tara odd man out. Okay, will again in case we forget, please remind. Okay, odd man out antane I will give you a lot of examples.
Understood here? Got it? Got the logic here? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ 3 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೋ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಲೋಕಲ್ self-government. So if you eliminate 2 from everything, you get the answer as what? 1, 3 and 4. See, this is what we call as what Shashank sir that time told, full toss ball. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಔಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫುಲ್ ಔಟೇ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಕೆಲವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಂದಿತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಂತ.
Very common question asked by UPSC. When was Governor General of Bengal introduced? When was Governor General of India? When did he come? When was Viceroy? When did he come? 3 terms very important. This is asking one of them.
What is the answer? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಡಿ ಅಂತೀರಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಎ ಅಂತೀರಾ? ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
It's okay if you're wrong. It's always good to be odd.
You don't know, majority can be wrong. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? Fits India Act. See, simple thing. Regulating Act 1773. First time they designated Governor of Bengal as Governor General of Bengal. Who was it? Warren
Hastings.
1833, they designated Governor General of Bengal as Governor General of India.
Yeah.
Who was it? William
Bentinck.
1858, they redesignated Governor General of India as Viceroy. Who was the first Viceroy? It was Canning. So, what will be the answer here?
Charter Act of
D. Charters Act of 1833. Now, when Shashank sir told initially, the entire UPSC paper, I'm telling all subjects across, these type of questions, minimum you'll have 20 subjects. I'm telling, it's not located in one place, it will be spread across the paper. Imagine if you get all these 20 questions correct. So how much is your score already?
40.
ಅರ್ಥ ಇದಲ್ಲ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೀ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ಹಿಟೋಲ್ನ ಯುಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್, ಯುಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್. That is what you need to avoid in the exam. That's what I told. Prelims is not cleared by those people who get difficult questions correct. Prelims is cleared by those people who don't make any mistakes in the basic questions that has been asked.
Don't aim for 150 out of 200, 170 out of 200. I will score 180 out of 200. Very difficult, impossible. Again, how many seats will be there in mains? Minimum 10 to 12,000. I will just be one amongst them. I will try to score minimum 100 to 120, can be doable. Some people, no sir, I should get all questions right. You can never get all questions right.
See,
Okay?
when sir told initially, the what is 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs, they write the exam. In reality, these 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs are not your competitors. Why? Because you again, you process what sir told now. How many of them you think really will do? How many of them you really do? See, your many of your classmates only, what they may do. Go to classroom, write down notes, go back home, like a parrot, keep repeating the same thing. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಂಗೋ ಒಂದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಮುಸೋರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಹೇಳಿದಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಂಗೇರಿಗೆ ದಾರಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದೇ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಡನ್. ಸಿ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ನೌ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಜನ ಎಚ್ಚೇಳೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಒಂದು. ಬಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಇವನ್ February notification when they give, that time out of hibernation they'll come out. Now I have to become active. ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದಿದೆ, ಯುದ್ಧದ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಶಸ್ತ್ರಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕಲ್ಕೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಬೇಸಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್
ಅದೇ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್, ಅದೇ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ. Keep it in mind. Trade and Charter Act. UPSC loves this topic. Read the question.
1813.
ಮನು, ಕನ್ನಡಕ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ಬೋದು ಮನು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೂತಿದೆ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ.
Again, if you are not able to read, I'll read it for you. The Charter Act of 1813. Which of the following statements is correct?
Now think this as a new pattern they're asking. Okay, one statement is correct, two statement is correct, three statement is correct instead of the option. What is there?
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. It ended the trade monopoly of East India Company in India except for trade in tea and trade with China. Correct. It asserted the sovereignty of British Crown over the Indian territories held by the company. Guarantee na? Lakshmikant promise.
Why is it wrong? 1858. Please read the question again. Sorry, statement again. It is actually the correct statement. Why? Because in Charters Act 1813, even before that also, they kept repeating, saying that whatever territories the East Indian Company will hold in India will be considered as the territories of the British Crown. Again a point. So meaning they communicated to the East Indian Company that you don't have complete sovereign powers. Again point. What they did in 1858 was that directly they took over the administration. But even when before company was ruling, they still said that company, you can't consider these territories are your territories. It is our territories.
Revenue of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. ಅದು ಅವಾಗಲೇ Pitt's India Act, I think. That is when the revenue of India were actually controlled by the British Parliament. They knew East India Company ಅವರು ಹಂಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಧೂಳಿಪಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Understood? That is why from then they were trying to regulate. Okay?
Got the point. And see, one more thing you will also logically see. Why? Because in Pitt's India Act itself, if you see, they create two systems. One is Board of Control, Court of Directors. And they'll give power to the Board of Control to hold what is this, treaties, wars, or etc. or political functions of the company. There also they'll tell one time that what from now on all the territories held by the East Indian Company is what? The British territories in India. Got it. So that's why I keep saying for these kind of questions, keep solving questions, keep revising again and again instead of just reading all the acts together. Now, if you see Charters Act 1813 they've given, Regulating Act they've given, and again you will see the Government of India Act 1858. In between they have not asked many acts. Okay, there is something called as I think what is that? After this Regulating Act 17, the Amending Act 1781 that has never come in.
1781, yes.
Got it. Understood how to go about.
Also, does anybody know what is the other name of Charter Act of 1833?
I know.
It has another name.
St. Helena Act.
St. Helena Act. St. Helena Act. Remember, there are many things that are not there in your books. For example, all of you know Dadabhai Naoroji. So he went and contested an election in England in 1891 or 2. Okay, I think he won the election also. Which constituency did he go and win? There's a constituency known as Finsbury. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ UPSC PYQs or some other competitive exams, these are the questions that are coming. And ಈಗ recent trend ನೋಡ್ರೆ UPSC is getting more factual and factual again. Okay? Yes, let us continue.
Okay, now Montague Chelmsford reforms 1919 recommended granting voting rights to all women of age of 21. The Government of India Act 1935 gave women reserved seats in the legislature. Which of the following statements are correct? Okay, how many of you say both are correct? Raise your hand. Okay. Now see, 1 minute pen. So if you look here, when you told that statement is correct, that's why I told don't quickly read the statement. Do a deeper reading of it. They're here using the word all. Logic ಏನು ಈ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ಸೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ ವುಮೆನ್ಗಂತೂ ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಡಿಡ್ ಗಿವ್ ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ವುಮೆನ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ವುಮೆನ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೋಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ, ದೋಸ್ ವರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Second statement you can say in Government of India Act 1935, they did extend the separate electorate. So 1909, who they gave separate electorate? Muslims. 1909 that was. In 1919, whom did they extend it to?
6 Anglo-Indians,
6 Anglo-Indians as well as Christians. And when did women get separate electorate? It was the Government of India Act 1935. Got it? So that's why I told when you read statements, read them carefully, get more clarity. So illi voting rights, what some people will think is that ಇದು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, the trick was here all. If you had identified, you would have got it correct. Second statement, of course, 1935, women got.
Watch out for such words. All.
I think always. Even laborers got right in 1935. Yes. Women, laborers, and depressed classes, they were given separate electorate. Got it? Understand? So ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕೆಲವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಬಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅದೇನಾದ್ರೆ ನೆನಪೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ ಏನೇನಾಯಿತು. And second thing is that if you look at this topic, that is the first topic in Lakshmikant, when we do polity, we actually don't do the topic initially. Why? Because you need a background knowledge of modern history to understand this topic pretty well. Okay, but if you just read like that, it is more like by heart. And what happens? You don't know the context, you don't know what is the evolution, you tend to make mistake. So answer will be 2 only.
Are you observing he has some favorite acts also? 1935, 1919, repeatedly coming. Again, I'll read in case it's not visible. With reference to Government of India Act, consider the following statements. It provided for the establishment of an all India federation based on the union of British and Indian provinces and princely states. defense and foreign affairs were kept under the control of federal legislature. Again, don't think this all is another extreme statement. All India Federation bere all vere. Yeah.
So what is your assessment? See, if you have read Basics of Government of India Act 1935, you would have read they did propose an all India legislature, but however that did not come into implementation. And read the sentence when that it provided. Yeah, it is 100% correct. Yeah, though it did not come into implementation, it did provide for an all India legislature comprising of what is it, the British Indian provinces and princely states. Now, second one, you can do it on logic. If you are logically strong, correct. Even today, defense and foreign affairs comes under whose control? Simple, na? Because we say that Government of India Act 1935 forms the skeletal framework of the present day Indian Constitution. Logic there also if you use, okay, defense and foreign affairs, why will they give it to provincial legislature? They will keep under the federal legislature. So answer is what? C. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Getting a point? So I think when Shashank sir gave that example of Australian cricket team, I was seeing some people, yaar guru, Australian cricket team. That's the difference. There is a difference in just reading the law or seeing the game, understanding the game. Australia does not win just because they have good players. They win because of their mindset. You are getting a point? Winning is a mindset. Success is a mindset. If you build that mindset, what will happen? It will give you capacity or capability to handle situations. Right? Once I saw that Australian team versus Afghanistan, I don't know, Maxwell or somebody, in 1 foot, he turned around the entire match. Why? Because it is of the mindset. So that is what we say, winning or succeeding, we have to make it a habit. And why we say keep solving questions every day, win every day. That will reflect by the time you write prelims. ನೀವು ಅಮಾವಾಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿನೋ ಹುಣ್ಣಿಮೆಗೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿನೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು ಬರೀತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟ್ರೂತ್? Like I and sir's experience, we have told many students, hardly few will do what has been told. That is the person thing.
But
Many
ಮಾಡಿರೋ
people,
ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಇದೆ.
but very few will do it. See, most of them, what na, today's first session, class is full. You see by 6th or 7th session, ಕೆಲವು ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾ, ಮನೇಲೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೋಡೋಣ ಆರಾಮಾಗೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರು ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೋಗೋಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು 8 ಸಾರತಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ 20 days ಯು ಬಿಕಮ್ 20, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಕ್ಕ ಮಗ 20 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತಂತೆ, ಬಂದರೆ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. That's why you see how many of those people after the course have message, I have succeeded. I don't find those messages. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ success is not something that can be bought. You have to work in that direction. That's what I told. Questions are simple. Now UPSC questions are, do you think this is very tough question, very complicated question what they're asking? ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ, some 5-6. Do you find these questions are so difficult or so thing they're asking out of context? Nothing, right? Any person who has read the subject well can apply and write.
Okay, common sense and presence of mind they are checking. But what we do, I should by heart all the features of Government of India Act 1935, 1913 ಎಲ್ಲ. So ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ you will never remember. Okay, just try to observe logically. Okay, 1909 it was like this. It improved in 1919. It improved in 1935. ಆ changes observe ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಬಂದ್ರು you will be remembering. Okay?
Now read this question, okay, and try to answer the statement. Let us see whether you smartly read the question.
This does not need any preparation, by the way. Statement 1. The Constitution Day is celebrated on 26th November every year to promote constitutional values among citizens. Statement 2. On 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft constitution of India.
How many of you say second statement is right? Alma, on 26th November, actually constitution was already passed.
Adopted.
So obviously the statement is...
But what students do, they will see 26th November, Constituent Assembly, Ambedkar, Odi.
Or some people will start thinking, is it the correct reason for... You are getting a point. Answer is simple. Statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. And one more thing, in assertion and reasoning questions, which they have started asking from 2023, you just go check. 80% of the questions, one statement is incorrect, one statement is correct. in 80% of the cases, hanganta ella ನೀವು ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್.
What they will do, for all, they will say one statement is right. 20% ಓದ್ ತಪ್ಪಾದ್ರೂ let it get wrong. But I want 80 correct. Don't go by that. But this is what we want you to do. See the last 5 years. See the conversion ratio. Then you'll come to know. Then you'll have a belief. Previous year also it is there. Okay, I can make sense. I will get it right. Don't blindly copy that logic.
Even in 1980s or 70s, when these assertion reasoning questions have come, you go check there also. 80% of the question, one statement is correct, one statement is wrong. But you'll have to identify which is correct and wrong. It is there. What is the exact constitutional status on 26 Jan 1950? How many of you say answer is D? How many of you say answer is B? So it is correct. Now see the context of this question. This was asked, I think, in 2020 or something. Which year? I'll tell you what is the context. The government of India, the Prime Minister, he put this thing on his Twitter or something, the photo of the preamble, having this sovereign democratic republic. Suddenly, what you can say, the left wingers, they made an attack saying that the Indian government has removed secularism. They are promoting that we are a Hindu country. Then the government gave a clarification. All we have done is posted the original photo of the original constitution, because at that point of time secularism was not yet added. They are telling we have not removed it. That year this question came in the exam saying that what is the exact constitutional status. So I'm telling for this question you don't need the context, but I'm telling if you see UPSC how they're asking questions, they're asking questions on issues which have been held in past 1 year. Understanding? That's why I told reading newspaper will indicate what are the ongoing issues. Right? 130th amendment will news ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗ. ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಇವಾಗ census, it is going to happen in 2026. SIR is in news. Have you read about it? See, problem is that reading-ಗೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. So for example, if you have consistently read newspaper, clearly many articles are indicating the Election Commission of India does not have the power to determine the citizenship of an individual. That power they don't have. Understand? That power only comes with Ministry of Home Affairs. These kind of information you'll have to know. This can be asked in prelims. Okay, which are the following powers of the Election Commission of India? For SIR, Election Commission of India has the power to conduct at any point of time. All they have to do that they have to give the reason why they are conducting SIR. This is done under Representation of People's Act 1951, from which they draw the power.
Electoral rolls, ಯಾವ act ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, because there is revision of electoral rolls only, SIR. Okay, go back and see 1950 na 1951. That much is enough.
Preamble of Constitution of India, and you've given 4 options. You have to say what is the answer.
Preamble of to the Constitution of India is a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. Not a part of the Constitution and has no legal effect either. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ? If it is not a part, then a part of the Constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part. Fourth, a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts. Good.
See, answer is 4 only, but what some people mistake they have done, right? They have purely gone for part of the Constitution has no legal effect. Hengidre basic reading. Basic reading is what? Hingidu odidivalla, it is not justiciable in nature. Okay, in the Keshananda Bharati case, they declared it is part of the Constitution. But please remember here, part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. What? Independently of other parts means with other parts it can have legal effect. How? Justice is mentioned in the preamble. Fundamental rights also promote many ideas of justice.
DPSP.
So it becomes justiciable. No, DPSP is non-justiciable.
Non-justiciable.
So fundamental rights, it is justiciable. Equality, Article 14. You understand? If you combine preamble's values into fundamental rights, then it becomes justiciable. So answer will be what? 4. Understood? Here again, what is UPSC trying to do? Confuse you. Plain and simple. Here students will make a mistake through confusion. If you are not confused, if you have clarity, if you interpret the right way, easily you get the answer as what? 4.
And also here you have to read all the 4 options, because as soon as you see third option you feel it is correct. ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, read third option. It is a part of the constitution and has the same legal effect as any other part. Looks very correct. But fourth one is even more correct.
One more
Observe
thing in
ಮಾಡಿ.
UPSC, if you see, what do they give? They say choose the best possible
Yes.
option among them. Get in mind, there might be certain two. See here, this is also correct. This is also correct.
Which is more correct.
See, you can interpret and tell, no sir, I feel that okay, it has no legal effect. Correct only. Simple. Now, preamble is not justiciable. It is part of the constitution. Now, that's why if you read the UPSC column, they say we will select the best possible option or the most appropriate option. The most appropriate will be 4.
Fourth. Any doubts? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Which of the following factors constitute the best safeguard for liberty in a liberal democracy? See, one observation what you can do from this preamble question, they're asking philosophical based question, concept based question, not just what you read in a book. You should apply.
Question of the first option A, committed judiciary. Option B, centralization of powers. C, elected government. D, separation of powers. How many of you think committed judiciary? What do you mean by committed judiciary, anyone? Not defined, so it is wrong. Because committed, again, many of the students that year had written committed judiciary as the answer.
Because you're very committed to do hard work.
Judiciary is committed anta, but committed and not committed to values, committed to the government in power.
Means
Understood the meaning?
judiciary is committed to the executive. So do you think a judiciary which is committed to the executive, can it protect your liberty?
Or is it a puppet? Same, Pakistan ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, Pakistan, Bangladesh. That is what, you know what is happening in Bangladesh today? Foreign tribunal, they gave an award punishing. That is nothing but a committed judiciary. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ committed judiciary? Then read centralization of powers. Try to eliminate the option here. Is centralization of powers correct? Elected government. Again, elected government need not be a safeguard. Last one nodi. Separation of
If you
powers.
say Hitler was an elected government. Remember, just because election happened, just because you got elected, does not mean now Trump is also elected. But do you think Trump's policies are completely towards safeguarding the liberty in a liberal democracy?
Only when legislature, executive and judiciary do their own job, separation of powers, idre matra, it's going to be a safeguard. Safeguard is more like check and balance.
Exactly. Any doubt here? Understood. That's what I told. Break down questions, solve more questions, you get more accustomed.
And reading all the options is a very important part. Remember, first option nodi takshana looks like a correct answer, I will not read anything. Don't make that mistake.
The constitutional government is one. First option places effective restrictions on individual liberty in interest of state authority. Second, places effective restrictions on authority of the state in the interest of individual liberty. Which of the following statements are correct? How many of you said 2 only? How many of you say both 1 and 2? Raise your hand, it's fine. 1 and 2. What is the first statement? So, what is the idea of a constitutional government in common sense word? There's a constitution which limits the power of what? The state government. Some mistakes what some people will do here, sir, we have fundamental rights now. No, they're not speaking about Indian constitution, they're just speaking about an idea of a constitutional government. First statement is saying that it places effective restrictions on individual liberty in the interest of state authority. It is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? It should be ulta. It should place effective restrictions on state authority in favor of individual liberty. First statement is incorrect. Places effective restrictions on the authority of the state in the interest of individual liberty, 100% correct. That is what we call as authority, right? IPS is an authority, IAS is an authority. They cannot use their powers however they want. They have to use their power within a boundary fixed by the Indian constitution. So what would be the answer here? It would be 2 only. Got it? Understood? That's why I told, read carefully, read calmly. Kelusati, what can happen is that you might get excited and say that, okay, fast reading. You think first statement is correct. So it is incorrect. Second statement is correct.
In such situation, place yourself in that situation. Can this be done? Anta one question ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, place yourself. Can really government do this? Then you'll come to know that it is wrong. Okay, always two questions. Can this be done? Can I prove this wrong? These two questions will help you a lot in prelims. What do you mean by can I prove this wrong? Andre 100% do I have evidence to say that this is wrong. 1% also if you can't prove it wrong, it is correct. Again, all this will give you empirical evidence to discuss this. Okay. Which of the following are regarded as the main features of rule of law? Limitation of powers, equality before law, responsibility of citizen towards state, liberty and civil rights.
How many of you say it is C? How many of you say it is B? Okay. So for you told B, right? That is 2 and 4. So why do you think first statement is incorrect? Like rule of law andre ಏನಪ್ಪ? You should act according to what the law says. Meaning you cannot act however you want. So obviously they are limiting your power, right? Simple logic, right? Equality before law means everybody are same in front of the law. Responsibility of the citizens towards the state. No, it should be responsibility of the state towards the citizens. So that is why it is incorrect. Civil and liberty. 100% correct. So what will be the answer? 1, 2 and 4. That's why I told many times, read the question carefully, calmly. Now sir told now why many people will make mistakes, because in exam they get tensed. Imagine you are solving this question in the last moment. You have only 60 seconds to solve the question. In quick reading, what you will do, you will make a blunder.
Or you will make all the above. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಬಿಡು, all the above ಅಂತ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay.
Which of the following statements best reflects the chief purpose of the constitution of a country?
ಈಗ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, think what should be the answer, then read. Okay, think what should be the chief purpose of a constitution.
Read the keyword. Best, chief, purpose of constitution. Logical, right? See, now all are the purpose of constitution, but they're asking you to choose
Which is the best.
which is the most important. What is the most important? It defines and limits the powers of the government. Plain and simple. You're understanding polity questions, as like Shashank sir told, 80 to 9% very easy. You can easily get it correct in the exam. But problem is that what? You have to get it correct in the exam, not outside the examination hall.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಶೋ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈಸಿ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೇ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಔಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾರ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಶೋ ಕಿಲಾಡಿ ऐसा नहीं होता. You have to do it, and you can do it in the exam hall in 2 hours. That is what actually is a kiladi.
And most of the students, how they will come now after exam, sir, if I had got this correct, it's like share market. You told I bought this share today, I would have been crorepati. You have not bought it, you are not a crorepati. You have not solved it, you have not cleared it. So ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರ, ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾರದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ 1000 ಇದ್ದರೂ ಲದ್ದಿ ಅಂತ. ಹಂಗೆ
ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
In essence, what does due process of law mean?
Actually, this was also kind of a controversial question when we were writing, because 2 options are very close here. You only tell which 2 options are very close. 1 and
2 and 3 na.
Hey, option is
ಅದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ.
1 and 3 are very close. 1 and 3 are very close. Many people had written fair application law, but UPSC gave it.
What we say always, why Supreme Court judges are Supreme Court judges? We had one of the student. She was relative to one of the Supreme Court judge. So when this debate was going, because she had taken clarity from that Supreme Court judge. What is the answer? She had told principle of natural justice, and that's why judge was correct. So answer is 1.
Are you also understanding the types of questions being asked? See, Nangidli, answer better. I don't want the answer. Types of question. Chief, what reflects? What is the best purpose? Observe all this. Yeah.
Which of the following best defines the term state?
Another controversial question during our time.
Read carefully and try to identify. Just because it has lengthy sentences, don't get scared. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಹುಡುಗರು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಅದು ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಬೇಡ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನು. How many of you say option A? How many of you say option B? How many of you say option C? See, one thing what you can tell from this, right? One thing, none of you have done previous year question. The reason is that if I was somebody who had done previous year question, immediately once they showed the question, I would have told what is the answer. So still, if you are thinking what is the answer, means one, you have not solved at all previous year question. Second one, you told option B. Why do you think it is option B? ಅದೇ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಿನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ?
ಶ್ರೀಕರ್,
I know that's what why for you it looks like the best.
Give justification. Sir, ನೋಡಿ sir, ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is authority to govern, maintain law and order. Justify that.
ಇವಾಗ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, IPS ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಿರ ಅಂತ? ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಇವಾಗ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವೈ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ IPS ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗಿಷ್ಟ, ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನನಗಿಷ್ಟ. See, now logic will tell what are the 4 elements of state: territory, population, government and sovereignty. So when he told option B, do you think it involves the word sovereignty? It doesn't. Where it involves sovereignty? ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್, politically organized people, definite territory, possessing an authority to govern them, maintain law and order, to protect natural rights and safeguard their sustenance. Where there is sovereignty, it is not there. If you see here, community of person means what? People occupying a definite territory, independent of external control, sovereignty, possessing an organized government. All the 4 elements are there in statement A.
I'll give you an example to prove it wrong. In Nagaland hatra Greater Nagaland anta area ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? That falls under this. Read. A politically organized people, okay, insurgents, in a definite territory, possessing an authority to govern them. Okay, the people have accepted them. Maintain law and order, protect their natural rights and safeguard their means of sustenance. Ashte. But what about the organized government and independent of external control? Okay.
So got it. Many times, as I told, question they'll ask basic question only, but they look for application of mind. Are you a person who identifies your basic knowledge, how it is located? He has not directly asked like state, territory, population. He has asked it in an indirect way. So again, it comes down to what? Ability to carefully read the question, ability to apply your knowledge in the question. That will help you to get the question correct. Got it? So answer is what? A.
Okay, Shrikar. Right. First nodili, whenever you see this cannot, and once you read this cannot, write can or cannot next to the question or the options. Ivaga, we'll just read. State control of the political and often personal realms of individual life. Okay, let us see. Wait. A monopoly of the means of mass communication. Either totalitarian or non-totalitarian. Looks like totalitarian. One party state. Totalitarian or non-totalitarian. Illi T bardbudi. So iderd option out. Autonomy of civil society andre. First, how many of you don't understand this? Autonomy of civil society. Nothing wrong. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿ? ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಅ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್. ಸರ್,
ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟಾನಮಿ? ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಟಾನಮಿ? ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಟೊಟಾಲಿಟೇರಿಯನಿಸಮ್ಗೂ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಸಂಬಂಧನೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ.
ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಪೋಸಿಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್? ಈಗ ಟೊಟಾಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್, ಅಟಾನಮಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. ಸೊ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಟಾನಮಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ whoever is protesting, etc.
So understood. Many questions here, it's not concept. Many times it is language based. If
is
you
it an
know
English
the language based, basically you will get it correct. ಇವಾಗ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಔಟ್, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಆಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಔಟ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಆಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಔಟ್. Because see, everything else, monopoly, state control, one party.
What
The
is it
only odd
indicating?
man out is what? Autonomy.
You learn either English or Hindi by the time exam happens.
You're understanding, end of the day, whether you know the concept, you don't know the concept, you use some trick, you use some method, get the answer correct. That is all what matters for your qualification.
Is it odd man out also, by the way? Naak option nodi, odd man out. Yes.
In India, in the context of Indian history, the principle of diarchy refers to which of the following?
Nodi, diarchy repeat ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Third question they've asked in last 7 to 8 years. Sina. So obviously answer has to be D. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ನೀವು ಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ರಾಪ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 2-3 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇಕಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, again another English question according to me. This is not polity question. ಓದಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಗುಡ್, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಟೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೈಮ್, ರೀಡ್ ಟ್ವೈಸ್. ಇದು ಒನ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದು. Legislation which confers to the executive or administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretion power in the matter of application of law violates which of the following articles? How many of you had confusion, still have confusion? Artha agta idea? So it is very complicated. So what is the answer? Article 14.
See, logically, what is Article 14 related to? Right, Nikhil. What is Article 28 related to? Right to, not constitution, it is freedom of religion. Allo, 25, 26.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಏನಾರು ಇದೆಯಾ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
What is 32? What is 44?
UCC.
So you can remove UCC also. You're left behind 14 and
32.
32. Now again read the statement again. You see which article matches the question correctly. Legislation which confers on executive or administrative an unguided, uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of the law.
Let us put Nikhil sir in this situation. We are giving some law, a legislation which confers on the executive, to Nikhil sir, an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power. What are you doing? You are giving Nikhil sir uncontrolled power in the matter of application of law. ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಪ್ಪ. Now you tell me what is answer. 14 or 32? 14. Are you
14.
understanding? Put yourself in that position, you will get it right. Okay, basically you are giving somebody uncontrolled power, do whatever you want. It is a violation of Article 14. Understood?
Means why? Because some people are being treated differently compared to
Yes,
others.
exactly.
It's a violation of what? Equality before the law. Article 14. So again, as Shashank sir told, question might be complicated, but as you told now, if you calmly sit and think, first eliminate which are not at
Nodi
all
takshana
related.
Article 44. What I will write? Uniform Civil Code. 28. This 14. Right to what? Yes, equality. 32 is our
Constitution,
remedies. Writs.
So that time,
Baradre, you will eliminate
that time sir told one order na. First is what? Knowledge, then comes what?
logic.
Logic, then comes
tricks.
tricks. So let us think, you didn't have knowledge, okay? You don't know what is Article 28, you don't know what is Article 44, you can't solve this question. No tricks will work. Only trick is that in pin, septipin, in pin, out go to septipin. Then it's a matter of luck. That it is
Also, I've seen some people who teach strategies in prelims. They say, you mark all the questions, how much you know. He says, UPSC will give 25 questions A option, 25 questions B option, 25 C, 25 D. Count how many have marked A, B, C, D. Then yaad kammi ide adana hakin. Trust me, these videos are there. Okay, please stay away from such people. Our students will say, logic, trick is there. Why should I study? Don't have that attitude. Okay? Artha aita? And remember, one takeaway, write down in the last page of your book. As soon as you see the question, write down whatever you know. Means, as soon as you read article 14, 28, 44, write down in 2 words. What do you know about it? Avaga life becomes very, very easier. All right? And put yourself in that position.
Which article of the Constitution of India safeguards one right to marry the person of one's choice? Simple. Article 21, Hadiya case. Okay, but please remember, right to marry is only a fundamental right for heterosexual couples. It is not considered as a fundamental right for homosexual couples because Supreme Court has not yet recognized it. They told it is Parliament who will have to bring necessary legal provisions in that regard. Understood? Simple. They are asking about Article 21 many times, different context. See again. Right to privacy is protected under which article of the Indian Constitution?
21. 21.
Which case? Put to some case. What is the position of right to property in India?
Read all the options. Don't jump. If you know the answer also, read all the options. What is the position of right to property in India? It is a legal right available to citizens only. It is a legal right available to any person. Fundamental right only to citizens. Neither fundamental right nor legal right.
How many of you say D? D. Okay. How many of you say C? How many of you say B? You have the answer. Okay. Article 300A. Basically, it is a legal right. It's a constitutional right available to all, not citizens, all individuals. What a point.
2 statements. Read both the statements.
Statement 1. Under Part 3 of the Constitution, individuals can enforce rights guaranteed by this part when they are violated by the action of the government authority. Statement 2. Under Part 3 of the Constitution, individuals can enforce rights guaranteed by this part when they are violated not only by the actions of the government authority but also by its inaction. How many of you say both statements are correct? How many of you say only first statement is correct? How many of you say ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ನು ಪಾಪ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೂ ಹಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಏನಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ವಾಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ನೌ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೆಟ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 3 is related to what?
Fundamental rights.
Individuals can enforce rights guaranteed by this part when it is violated by the action of the government authority. So when government has violated your right, what you can do? Get constitutional remedies. Correct, right? Second statement, they're also telling it's not only by government's action, but also government's inaction. Okay, simple example, Article 21A says what? What is right to education? Every child aged between 6 to 14, government should mandatorily provide them educational opportunities. Inaction means what? Government is not providing you. Still you can go to court saying that my fundamental right is being violated because of government's inaction. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಲಿಬರ್ಟಿ. Second statement is connected to positive liberty. In positive liberty, state has to perform, state has to act to enforce certain fundamental rights. When they are not doing it, even then you can go and apply in what is that? Constitutional remedies. So both these statements are correct. Got it?
Sorry.
With reference to writs issued by courts in India, consider the following statements.
With reference to the writs issued by the courts in India, which of the following is correct? Mandamus will not lie against a private organization unless it is entrusted with a public duty. Mandamus will not lie against a company even though it may be a government company. Any public-minded person can be a petitioner to move the court to obtain the writ of quo warranto.
But surprisingly, UPSC has given the key answer as 1, 2, and 3. Okay. But what is the explanation they have not given? But the key answer of UPSC carries as 1, 2, 3 because most of the academies, everybody had given the answer as 1 and 3. But if you see UPSC's official key answer, for some reason, they've given second statement is also correct. Got the point? Because in UPSC they don't give explanation, but the key answer what they've given is D. That is 1, 2, and 3. So ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೋ ಡೌಟ್ ನಮಗೂ ಒಂದು ಅದು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. But
lot of questions UPSC has done that. A very good reform is as soon as our exam is over, they are going to release the answer keys. So we'll have clarity, and UPSC also should be more responsible now. Exam agi 24 hours ನಿಮ್ಗೆ answer key ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
now one more thing here. What are the different writs that are there under Article 32? Habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition, and quo warranto. Now one more question. Can habeas corpus be issued against a private individual? How many of you say no? How many of you say no? You got no ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ರೂಢ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ನಪ್ಪ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ.
ಈಗ ನಾನೇ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿ? ಈಗ Nikhil sir has kidnapped me. He's put me in a room.
Shashank sir ಹೋಗಿ ಹೋಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಮ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ. Now his parents will go and apply for a writ. The court will ask on what basis you have detained him. Who gave you the right to detain him?
Okay.
That is why it can be applied against private individuals and government. Can mandamus, can it be issued against private authorities? Not possible. It can't be issued.
You can't tell private, no, again they know what to do. Government cannot say you should do this unless they may be working for the government.
Got it? And second one, can mandamus be issued against the president and the governor? Can it be issued against the CJI? Can it be issued against a judge? Yes, it can be issued against a judge. But it can't be the CJ because CJ is the highest authority who is going to issue this thing. Okay. And this thing, does locus standi principle apply with the case of quo warranto? Okay, first of all, what is locus standi? Locus standi basically means for you to put a case, you have to be connected to that particular case. So does that apply in the case of quo warranto? It does not apply. Any person disconnected to the case can also apply for quo warranto. What is quo warranto? When any person of high constitutional status is occupying that position illegally or he does not fit into the requirements, you can go and apply for quo warranto. Got it? Understood? So please remember it, revise it. That's what I'll solve more number of questions. Which of the following constitutional amendments was widely believed to be enacted to overcome judicial interpretations of the fundamental right? ಇದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ 44th amendment. But official key answer, they have dropped the question. Why? Because there is no single answer to it. You can interpret both ways, first amendment as well as 44th amendment.
Remember, takeaway is not the answers here. Takeaway is the themes that UPSC is asking and the repetition that is happening. Constitutional amendment, important amendments we should be knowing. And also the procedure to amend the constitution. Here mains allo kelidare, the procedure to amend the constitution.
Now, among this, which amendment this year exam will be important? Why? No, 42nd you told first is correct. Why? 50 it is 50 years since 1976 this amendment was brought, 2026.
Also, today there was an article in Hindu newspaper about another 50-year anniversary of one article. Very good. ICDS, Integrated Child Development Scheme. All our Anganwadis. So that becomes very important from Prelims perspective, and in mains also they can ask us about this in vulnerable sections, children, measures taken by the government. Understood? So ICDS, you should be knowing all the facts about ICDS for Prelims.
Which is called as a mini constitution among that. Okay.
ಇದು ಯಾವ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ.
Right to property was removed under which amendment? 44th Amendment
44th.
1978 land reforms ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Now, next question. Consider the following statements. A bill amending the constitution requires prior recommendation of the president. Second statement, when a constitution amendment is presented to the president of India, it is obligatory for the president to give his or her assent. A constitution amendment bill must be passed by both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha by special majority, and there is no provision for joint sitting. All are correct. No, your wish, your opinion. Okay, tell me whether the first statement is right or wrong. It is incorrect. Why? Because there is no need of a prior recommendation by the president for a constitutional amendment bill. You need it for a money bill. You
Okay.
need it for states name change or what is that bound article 3. For that it is needed, not for a constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment bill can be introduced both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. It can be introduced both by a private member as well as a minister. And it has to be passed by special majority in both houses of the parliament. President does not have veto against a constitutional amendment bill. There is no provision for a joint sitting of a constitutional amendment bill. These are the key points.
Was it
that
added
you
in
have to
any
know.
amendment, by the way? The president has to mandatorily give assent to a constitutional amendment bill. Was it added in the amendment or was it in the original constitution? Which amendment?
24th Amendment 1970.
Be careful. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ? This is the things that UPSC is going to focus. He likes questions about constitutional amendment. Through the 42nd Amendment to the Constitution of India, which one of the following was or were inserted into the preamble? Liberty of thought, expression and belief was substituted by liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. The expression unity of the nation was substituted by unity and integrity of the nation. Read, take your time. With constitutional preamble ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
Is the word worship there in the preamble? Simple logic, eliminate it. Second one, unity of the nation was also unity and integrity. 100% the word integrity was added. So what will be the answer?
Answer?
2 only.
Can you by heart all this or is just more of observation and presence of mind? Observation and presence of mind. Don't try to by heart everything. It does not work.
With reference to India, consider the following statements. The government, law officers and legal firms are recognized as advocates, but corporate lawyers and patent attorneys are excluded from recognition of advocates. Second statement, bar councils have the power to lay down the rules relating to legal education and recognition of law colleges. They are asking which of the following statements are correct. So if you look at the first statement in that regard, patent attorneys are actually recognized as advocates. Again, there is something called as Advocates Act 1961. Under that, if you go. Second statement, generally you can say the main role of the bar council is to regulate the legal colleges. So the answer is 2 only. So what you can realize from this question, they're not just asking directly from Lakshmikant, they're also going into other areas. Means, like if you see in recent times, they're asking about parole, they're asking about what is that? Judicial custody, police custody. They're asking about IPC, CRPC, now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. They might ask questions in that regard. So you have to be constantly looking at newspaper or current affairs to just update yourself. For example, now recently there is something called as default bail, which is in news. What do you mean by default bail? Meaning, if the police or the investigation agencies are not able to present the chart sheet within 60 days and in some cases 90 days, the person is naturally entitled to get bail. That is only called as default bail. Now this was also in news for other reason. The 130th Amendment bill. Now there's an issue in that, because in that bill what they say that on the 31st day, if you are not cleared of the case, till the chart sheet is there on you, you have to resign from being a minister. But here the idea is that there are cases where you don't get bail up to 60 days. So that is why they are telling it's a violation of the default bail. That is why it has been in news. So in prelims they might ask you in exam, what is a default bail? You will have to be able to know. So similarly, yesterday's newspaper we read, amicus curiae. It was written. They might ask, what do you mean by amicus curiae? Friend of the court.
Is it there any provision of the constitution? Is it? Yes or no? Is it present in any part of the constitution or not?
He is only asking yes or no.
Yes or no? ನಾನೇನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದ್ಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? How many of you think yes sir it is there? How many of you think no sir? ಈ ಸತಿ ನಾನು ಓದಿನ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್.
Judicial custody statement is there. Second statement again, during judicial custody, police officer in charge is not allowed to interrogate with approval of the court.
Again, non-Lakshmikant question regarding Indian polity. Every day you observe, read the newspaper, somebody will be taken into judicial custody for sure. And nowadays, lot of people are going into the judicial custody.
Darshan case follow ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ police custody, judicial custody ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು.
Before that Prajwal Revana case.
Yeah. So they tell like in Darshan's case, he's innocent till he's proved guilty. In Yedurappa's case, he's guilty till he's proved innocent because he's caught in POXO. POXO works differently. You're going to mind. There are some laws in India which don't follow the norm. What is a norm? In India, the norm is that jail is an exception, bail is the norm. But in these kind of cases, POXO, bail is an exception, jail is the norm. Can you point? But ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್.
Judicial custody means an accused is in the custody of the concerned magistrate and such accused is locked up in the police station, not in jail. ಅವನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ಜೈಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಈಸ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ಲಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್. Read the second one. During judicial custody, the police officer in charge of the case is not allowed to interrogate the suspect without the approval of the court. Obviously, answer is 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Again, common sense, presence of mind, minimum 20 marks will be there.
So first statement is what? Police custody. It is not judicial custody. In judicial custody will be in jail. ಇವಾಗ ಕೆಲವರು ಸರ್ police station jail ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಪರಪ್ಪನ ಅಗ್ರಹಾರ is a jail.
And Chandralal
police station.
Another very nice question.
With reference to India, consider the following statement. When a prisoner makes out of a sufficient case, parole cannot be denied to such prisoner because it becomes a matter of his or her right. Second statement, the state government has their own prisoners release on parole rule.
First point, put yourself in that shoes. Imagine you are in jail and you see, does it work? Ego. Parole cannot be denied to such a prisoner because it becomes a matter of his or her right. I will be in jail and say, sir, it is my right, sir, my friend's getting married. Are you understanding? So option 1 is obviously wrong. Option 2 is right. Then next year, same question about prisoner rules was asked again by UPSC. And the second statement was copy pasted again. But they asked the historical aspect. Artha agta idya? One theme which comes, UPSC will definitely complete that theme for sure.
See, other thing is that even if you have not read, generally you can see prisons is a state subject. Every state has their own rules with regarding to how they are going to release a person, on what basis they are going to grant parole. So answer is what? 2.
And you see Karnataka state of affairs, the jail. ಆ ಬರ್ತಿರೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ನೋಡ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ. ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಾ? That's biometric.
With reference to India, consider which of the following statements. There is only one citizenship and one domicile. A citizen by birth can only become the head of the state. Third statement, a foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived under any circumstances.
Again, put yourself in that position.
See now here, since it's multiple choice question, first try to which statement is incorrect.
Eliminate.
logically, even this third statement is incorrect, right? Once it is given to a foreigner, it cannot be done. No, you have Citizenship Act 1950. What are the different process through which you can lose your citizenship? So 3 eliminate ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ you are left with A and B. Either A has to be correct or either B has to be correct. So if you see the second statement, you can easily tell it is incorrect because in India, even a naturalized citizen can become the head of the state. So answer is what? One only. Got it?
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೇನು ನಾಲೆಜು ಬೇಡ. ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು read ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ್ once also you will come to know that option 2 is right or wrong? Wrong.
So this is the last question. Okay.
The Citizenship Act 1955 deals with determination of citizenship on or after.
Logically think.
Date change ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರು.
Simple na. A is 26 Jan 1950. Right. Till 26 Jan 1950, at the constitutional provisions which gave who is a citizen, who is not a citizen, it empowered the Indian Parliament to bring a law. So that law will apply from 26 Jan 1950. So understood. So of all the questions what we solved today, most of the questions in polity, as Shashank sir said, it was not direct, straightforward, just application oriented. If you have read your basics well, 100% you can get most of them correct.
Okay, so I think to sum up what we have discussed today, we have done a few topics, and same is going to happen next week. Next week another 5 important topics like parliament, state legislature, president will be uploaded. And again invest one day, read and come back. If possible, see the PYQs. I want you to know that sir, money bill every year it is being asked. What is being asked in money bill? Ee clarity barta hogli. Also again another 20-25 questions we'll try to solve in the class. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can contact us. I think most of you have our Telegram IDs. Artha aita? And this will happen on a regular basis every week till the prelims. Polity will complete in 3 to 4 weeks. Then we'll go to economy, 3 to 4 weeks, geography, like that. Artha aita? Structured preparation is going to happen. Any doubts?
And how much time we are asking from you? Just
2 hours.
2 hours in a week. It's not a everyday program, it's just a weekly program. All you have to do is turn up on the day, prepare the targets, and just work with it, and let's see where it takes us.
And also take away from today's class, I will repeat, whenever you are reading, as soon as you see any question, write down whatever you know about this. Article 44, Article 28 bandaga. Make it a habit when you write a test in a weekly test. Artha agta idya? Always try to put yourself in that position and see, is it possible or not? You will get most of the answers. Okay? Thank you. Again, the next topics will be uploaded and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you next week.